Well, hey, everybody. Very special John Campea Open Mic. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. I'm Chris Carr. I'm going to be your host for Open Mic, the show where the floor is open, the mic is yours, and you are driving the conversation that we're having here today because we are here with you live. We were with you live earlier today, too. I didn't know that. No one tells me nothing.
Oh, that was great.
Show.
He was like, wait, we were live today? I'm like,
live?
yeah, we didn't want to tell you because you get nervous when you know.
You know, I just get so upset.
Yeah.
This is also, though, like when we switched from going just to podcast to being back on video.
Yeah.
And I realized that later after
Your
I was like,
camera was
I haven't been wearing makeup for like 3 weeks, guys. I've been just full apartment troll here. But of course, I am not alone, y'all. I am here with Ray Aura.
That's me every day.
Yeah, every day he's
I'm
Ray
a apartment
Aura.
troll.
You're always perfect and chef
No,
pleasuring.
no.
Yes. And of course, Jonathan Boyko's here too.
I'm here. The rumors are true.
Yes. We got the three of us
Hold
here
on.
to talk to you about stuff.
I need to say something real quick.
Okay,
Yeah?
let's get you in frame.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
So, I couldn't say this on the show, but before we watched The Creator yesterday, I was at Yard House, a couple buddies, and one of our buddies, he tends to over-order his drinks.
Oh, boy.
So he gave me this.
Sounds like a fun guy. I like it.
He had a full thing of Coke and I think it was whiskey, and he's like, no one would drink it. I said, okay, I'll take it. And it was whiskey that was colored like Coke. That's what it tasted like because
Dang.
there was no Coke in there. And The Creator, the very first half of it, it was so fun to me, even if sad things were happening. I'm just saying that I don't drink. I don't drink a lot.
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was pretty much gone. I just wanted to mention that. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking to God right now. I have no idea what I'm talking.
You might
to.
be in limbo. This might be like.
this is
like a-
purgatory.
Yeah.
Confessional right here.
Funny thing, you said that about the whiskey and all that. Years ago, I was at Disneyland, back when you could bring alcohol in a flask because no one patted you down and there was no screeners. So
I have a workaround for that.
okay, plastic and
Well, it's the plastic flasks that go into tampon cases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So you got to disguise it. I did that once with fake binoculars into a music fest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I know people are like, "Who's the dork with the binoculars at the music fest?" But then when I popped it open and drank, I heard someone
Who's
go,
the dork now?
"That's freaking genius."
Yeah,
He
it's
said.
a beautiful move.
But so I'm on Pirates of the Caribbean, and they hand me a bottle of, I think it's rum and Coke or whiskey and Coke. I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, thanks, chug it." Glug, 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 glug. And I'm like, "Whoa, that's pretty strong, man. I could barely taste the Coke in that." They're like, "That was all whiskey." And that's my story.
Oh man.
If the viewers could see what I'm
Pirates is
watching.
weird when you're drunk. Pirates is a very weird ride to be on when
Is
you're
that
out
still
of it.
around the Pirates ride?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been
Yeah.
to Disneyland in like 7 years. I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
why? Because
No,
Oh.
because it's just too much. I think it's expensive, to be honest.
It is
Well,
expensive.
yeah,
Yeah.
for the
Just to
of
wait
us.
in lines too, and then I hear about it's like. But right now, it seems like the weather is getting to a point where I would think about going to Disneyland. Because in the summer, no way. You'll never get me at any amusement park. So sorry, but right now it's a good time. Finally, maybe I'll get to see Star Wars Land. I don't know if it's good or not. Do you guys like it?
I love it.
I haven't been.
I really
last time I
like
went to
it.
Disneyland, they were constructing it. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I was there. The last time I was there, I think was last October.
Sound like my dog when he gets hungry.
That's why I play so many of them. That amazing acting training right there. That's why she books
I was like,
everybody.
Gable?
As a dog or a cat, hire Chris Carr.
The big question is, if I go there and I see Ahsoka, can I talk to her or no?
Yeah,
or
you can totally talk to her.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I mean, like, do you mean like, can you talk to
Can
her?
I? No. Can I talk?
I'll make
to
sure
her?
she wears a trench coat.
Or because we can't talk about this.
No, you can
go
interact
talk
with
to her.
them.
Yeah, you can go interact.
It
with
was
her.
a joke.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I mean,
No
if
one
you
got
want to
it.
be like,
I
yo,
don't get it,
Ahsoka,
but
what
we
you
can do it.
doing after this? Then maybe.
No one got it.
Yeah, no one got it.
I'm sorry.
So what
sorry.
are we doing?
Well, we're going to talk about a different Disney property. We're going to
All
talk
right.
about Disney and Marvel taking meetings for potential X-Men writers. Ooh,
There we
this
go,
comes
right
from us
there.
from Deadline. So they are apparently starting to meet with some writers fresh off of the writers' strike win to talk about their X-Men pitches and what they want to do in an X-Men movie. So this basically is just very preliminary, you guys. So far that we know, sources tell Deadline that Marvel will start setting writer meetings later this fall for pitches on its anticipated X-Men movie. Insiders add there's no rush to fill the job since the film hasn't been dated yet, and it's more than likely that writer decisions will be made at the top of 2024, and Marvel hasn't issued a comment on this at this point in time.
That's crazy because the previous where people were speculating we wouldn't see the X-Men until 2027. If they go by their current slate, it would be 2027 and over.
That's why they're saying even to develop, like pre-production will start next year.
But is there another side to this saying, oh, wow, they're looking for writers now? Maybe their plan is messed up because of everything that's happened. Maybe they want to fast forward to the X-Men.
It's very possible that they're trying to move things along to that. Or, the other side of that coin is they really want to take their time and get it right. Because I don't know about you guys. For the longest time growing up, Marvel for me was Spider-Man and X-Men, and that was it. Especially as a 90s kid, right? You had the Spider-Man animated series, you had the X-Men, and then you had, Batman the animated series, and that was kind of my stuff. Yes. And so X-Men is such a huge part of the Marvel mythos that's been missing for this really long time. For you guys, what are you looking for in like the Marvel Cinematic Universe for them in there?
You want to go with that, John?
I mean, I was wondering what the tone is going to be. A couple of things I was thinking. First, I'll backtrack. So one thing I'm wondering is they're getting scribes into the writers' rooms for ideas.
Yes.
But Marvel typically already has an idea of how they want their overarching storyline to take place.
That's very true.
So does this mean, one, they know how the X-Men are coming into the universe. They just need pens to figure out a story, plot, characters, whatever. Or are they literally like, how are we getting these guys in the MCU?
Ooh.
That's the stage. I'm like, what stage are we in here?
Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two, we often talk about comic accurate costumes. I mean, you can never be comic accurate because it looks ridiculous, but you can be comic inspired.
Sure.
I don't think we're gonna get an X-Men like the Fox where they were just like in black tactical gear. But even Captain America is not wearing spandex and scales. Right, it was the Captain America suit, but it was like tactical
gear, yeah.
So I think we're gonna get like a hybrid on the look.
Ooh.
I think we're gonna get. Now I'm wondering, are we getting the giant size X-Men original team that most of us are familiar with, or are they starting us with like the OG?
Oh, like 1960s X-Men.
Yeah, X-Men.
Okay.
And then growing from there. Yeah,
That's all very possible.
We've always heard about. Whenever anybody was unhappy with, like, let's say an Fox X-Men movie, what could Marvel do if they had the property? We've always wondered, right?
Yeah.
Because of the animated show where they brought in everybody, it seemed. And on a side note, X-Men 97, I know John doesn't like talking about it because he's not interested in it, but I'm really excited for X-Men 97.
Freaking stoked.
I can't wait for that thing to drop. I don't know if
you're talking about for the animated series.
Yeah, the animated
Hell yeah.
series. Yeah, because every time it comes up, John doesn't like. But I am excited for that. I can't wait to see what they do with just the animated.
So
series.
you watched the original '90s X-Men, right?
Yes.
So this takes place literally, like this
It
is the
picks up in it,
next year, next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's '90s. Yeah, it's a continuation.
That show made me get
it's
the
a continuation of that
cards.
series.
Yeah.
So because one of my reasons for excitement was the animation style of the What If series, I thought was awesome. Besides what stories they told, I thought the animation style was cool.
It was amazing.
I was hoping that the X-Men 97 would be an updated animated style, or do you think they're just going to
No, I think it's going to have that 90s feel.
It's totally still entrenched in
Yes.
this.
Aww.
To me, I love that because it's as if you literally could go binge those and
Yeah,
take
and
on
then
with
go do this.
Right. I see that side.
Now, there might be technology they've been like they're using, like maybe there will be some three-dimensional aspects to it.
Sure.
Sort of like how Sleeping Beauty back in the day did that. We're like, whoa. But I think it's primarily going to be the same style.
Yeah. Just
I
imagine
think
the
we'll probably have
effects they
some
could do.
smoother transitions
Yeah.
in there and stuff too.
But in terms of the X-Men, them wanting writers, if anyone's an X-Men fan, I think this has just got us all excited.
It does. It
Just
definitely
because they're starting the ball rolling. We've heard the X-Men are coming, but this is their way of saying, hey, we're getting the ball rolling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's what we all was waiting for, because
Yeah.
you could say whatever you want. You could say things are in the, we have an idea, or, yeah, we plan to bring these people in, but when they're bringing writers in, it's a good sign. But also, Blade has had writers too.
Yeah, that's true. Because this is all kind of still that wishing and hoping stage of
Yeah, this is
we're
all
looking
just
for this
like-
writer, we're looking for these folks, we're trying to get pre-production rolling here.
I wonder how much of this is not. I mean, we are excited for the X-Men,
Yes.
but how much is this even more of a dopamine hit? Because we're like, the writer's strike is done.
Someone's gonna
Oh
write
my gosh, people are going to
something.
get together for ideas. This is amazing.
Well, and a little inside baseball scoop for everyone too. My writer friends, their
Uh-huh.
agents have been like, "You better have something for me." Where it's been, you had 173, right? Swap
Yeah.
those numbers. Was I a little dyslexic for a moment?
143.
143. Thank you. Days to get something for me. You need to give me pitches. So we
In
are
terms of
going to-
ideas, right? Because
Yeah.
they weren't allowed to write.
They
but
weren't
yeah.
allowed to write and like sell stuff,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it was
yeah.
more of a behind closed doors. You should have been coming up with ideas.
Exactly. Because let's be honest. Like,
It's
you're going to be writing. No one can see you writing. You're writing.
Yeah,
And
when
if you
you're
stop
writing,
writing, it's, you're losing that part of your brain, like exercising that muscle. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
We still do those little like 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute prompts every day, Logan and I, of just trying to figure stuff out. One of the things that I am really, really interested in here about the X-Men movies, though, moving forward, is that tone like you talked about, Jonathan. And also, X-Men really in the comics has always been a jumping point for social and political commentary. And it's one of those things too, when everyone does the keep the politics out of it, keep the social out of
which
it.
translation means
A certain
just
brand.
your brand of politics. Because
Yeah.
if it was my brand of politics, they love it when their musicians play are supporting their brand of politics.
Exactly.
Then keep the politics out of it. It doesn't even exist. So it's like, come on. Exactly. This is about commentary. You cannot just be like action.
Well, and you can have both sides of that commentary.
And you can't say, oh, well, like the original stuff didn't.
The original stuff is so
Fox-
steeped
Yeah.
in racism, in LGBTQ rights, in drug usage. That was huge for Marvel in the early 1960s. So I am wondering how much of that we are going to see with these characters, or if it is going to be a lot of stuff based on just the actual powers and things like that. The thing I keep coming back to too is in a world where we already have superheroes.
In a world.
Don LaFontaine. Is there still room for that idea of racism against mutants? And is it going to be the really horrific kind of mutants, the
yeah.
marrows of the world, those kinds of
Right.
mutants who don't get accepted and acclimated into society? Because we already have people who are going to conventions for heroes. We have, people who are on lunch boxes. So is it going to be more of a socially acceptable, beautiful heroes are okay? Or do we still have that social commentary of mutants being a different class, a different race, a different sort of situation there?
Because they're like, if they're coming into the MCU, people know superheroes exist, and then all of a sudden they're gonna be, you know what I mean? Like all of a sudden the people who have been thinking like the
Yeah.
Avengers for saving they're gonna have a problem with mutants. I'm not sure. Yeah, you're right. I'm not sure how they would go about that.
Because also, after being snapped half the population and then snapped back, it's like you could take it one of two ways. You could be like, I'm tired of this stuff, but also you could be like, I've been through a lot. I really don't care, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For
I'm just
sure.
happy to be alive.
Well, and
So
did that snap ignite the mutant gene that was hibernating in so many
that
people?
to me seems like that's the most obvious choice.
I think so. And that way you still have the capability of having mutants who have been around forever.
It
And
released
then
so much cosmic energy and radiation of all kinds.
It just kind of expedited that evolutionary process for most others. And that's why we have this now.
Look, so something I appreciate about the X-Men, and I know this might not be for everyone, but I always liked that every single one of them had their culture behind them. You know what I mean? But that's why I question the uniform thing if they do that right away, because sometimes the uniform hides where that person comes from. Like
Yeah,
they
I
get
think-
lost in the mix. Like I want Storm to still stay Storm, like
Yeah.
to have her heritage
Sure.
honor. I would like more like these people come together without having to have a uniform on right from the beginning, because I tend to get lost in that. Like characters get lost in that visually. Like I would like for them just to be a group of that's been through the same rough stuff
Yeah.
from different areas of the world that are trying to fight for whatever they're fighting for, and then maybe when you get really into it, then you add the uniform or things like that. I don't know.
That would come later. I agree.
I think so, too.
I also wouldn't be surprised if much like James Gunn in the DCU or DCU, that with the X-Men, we actually are going to have to accept some carryover from the Fox.
Oh, yeah.
That's another
Because
big
also
question.
because with Deadpool, we
Yeah,
already
that's the
know
other question.
Colossus, and now we're seeing Wolverine in the MCU.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to have some carryover and some differences.
Sure. I agree with that.
And how would this affect like Deadpool? I think I'm thinking maybe this Deadpool's may be the last Deadpool, but a lot of people say no because if it makes money, they're gonna keep it going. They're gonna keep doing it. But then how would that affect this new reboot of the X-Men? You know, there's a whole bunch of questions.
I don't think it's the last.
But they're
I don't
so
think it's the
far
last.
apart from each other. Let's say Deadpool comes out next year. Let's say if we stick with 2027 as the X-Men coming out, that's a long time. And Ryan Reynolds, even though he looks like a young buck, maybe he doesn't want to do that role forever. I don't know. Even
Maybe.
Yeah, but I think he wants to go into the MCU with it. I think he loves it.
you think he wants to join this new X-Men they're planning on?
Not necessarily join it, but I think he wants to be included in the MCU.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think Deadpool 3, too, gets to kind of be the great equalizer of everything, of doing that cafeteria styling of we like this, we don't like this. We're going to give this its goodbye. We're going to say goodbye to it permanently for now. And I say permanently, very italicized, since much like comics, in the MCU, no one is ever officially dead or gone. So that has a lot of wiggle room there too. But I think that movie allows for you to kind of test the waters of how do we deal with all of these different universes that we've had, all these different studios having control of these different characters, and streamline that for our game plan for the next few years. And I think how audiences react to Deadpool 3 is going to have a lot to do with where they take that first X-Men script.
Yeah, and the bigger question is, side question, who do you think ends up getting rid of the Hugh Jackman Wolverine? Because obviously this will be his last one. Who do you think? Do you think it'll be Deadpool? Do you think Ryan Reynolds?
I don't think he'll die because I think they
I
said
think
they
he
were going to
dies.
leave.
They gotta
No,
write him
because they said they're leaving this so that Logan can still take
be the
place.
end.
Oh,
So
So
I-
his fate is still
I
his
didn't
fate.
know that. I
This
didn't
is
know that.
this is a adventure I think that takes place between our last time with the Wolverine in Japan and before Logan.
I never
I think
heard
it's
that.
something in there.
Now I feel so dumb. But yeah. Okay,
feel
that
dumb.
makes sense.
This
That
is a
makes
lot of random Marvel goofiness. It's all made up. Can't be too serious.
It's
about
real
it.
to me.
That probably made a lot of people upset. But at the end of the day, it is all just made up. It's made up and the points don't matter.
Okay.
You know? I love this
We're
stuff.
not the
but-
mean nerds at the D&D table.
No.
Oh, I knew plenty of them in junior high who, I got invited by like the semi-nice one, and then like the mean ones would be like rolling their eyes because I didn't know how to play D&D.
Yep.
This was my first time. And they were like worse than the jocks that I was around.
Isn't that wild?
And I've never played D&D since.
Oh,
That's how much I was like, screw these mean nerds.
John.
I hate them.
Aw, that makes me
I
sad.
don't really hate them, but I hate their
But
attitude.
yeah, that attitude is really crappy.
But I have played like the Star Wars like
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Like I just haven't done proper D&D or anything
Yeah.
because they were mean to me.
That sucks. I'm sorry that happened.
I wasn't nerdy enough, but I wasn't cool enough, but I wasn't popular enough, and I wasn't I wasn't sporty enough. So I became a music nerd.
guy.
Yeah, I became the cool guy that went to concerts all the time.
Exactly, which pans out way better in
Yeah, I'm
life
kind of
later
happy
on.
with where
Yeah.
I turned out.
We don't have a release date for X-Men 97. We did. I think there was like a.
Did that
Yeah,
get
for the
bumped too?
for the animated?
Yeah. Do we have a release date for that?
Look that up. But
Trying to
anyway,
see.
we should probably move into questions, but let's look that up. And then when we get that answer, we get that answer.
Okay.
So I'm going to read the first tip. It comes from Anonymous. Very excited for my double feature of Dumb Creator tonight. Well, it sounds like you're not very excited about it. Also, John, I'm currently binging Dexter right now on season 5, and it is so good. I've heard it comes down in quality a bit towards the end, but so far I'm having a really good time. Did you like it? John's not here, but did you watch Dexter?
I watched the original series of Dexter, and then I did not watch the completion or the follow-up series. But I liked it. The John Lithgow season is, in my opinion, the best one. It's so messed up and terrifying.
I love John Lithgow because he can play like just like a good father figure, and he can play a great villain. It's incredible.
Yeah, his range is astounding. He has a really amazing autobiography too that highly recommend. It's really
check
great
it
for
out.
anyone who's interested in acting too. He's got great insight.
Anonymous is back, or maybe it's a different Anonymous.
Ooh.
One slight concern I had about Deadpool 3 filming during the writer's strike was that Ryan Reynolds had always emphasized how important it was for him to have the writers on the set of the previous movies. Now they can be on the set when filming restarts. I was saying that earlier this week that now he can punch up the script like he wants to. Yes. Now they can improvise like he wanted to, because he's one of the writers of it. He's not just in it, right?
Correct.
So now he can do. They can start working on rewriting stuff.
Yeah.
And then once the SAG strike is done, you're gonna get the best of both worlds because you obviously you can act now, but also then you can also start improvising because when we were getting those set photos, he was like, "This is great, but I can't improvise right now." So
yeah, it soon will be the Hannah Montana.
Heck yes. We got Johnny Got Lost. I hope you found him. Hey John, not here. Did you see that James Gunn reinforced the notion on his Threads account that Sholo will continue? So these came in a couple days ago, but will continue as Blue Beetle in his DCU. I know you had your doubts about his return. Personally, I'm stoked.
I am too.
He did. Now I'm just thinking of South Park. I thought they were gonna be stoked on me.
Oh, okay. Steven Seagal.
Yeah, Steven Seagal. He did a great job as Jamie. Thoughts? I'm excited to see him
Jamie
back.
Jaime Reyes.
Jaime Reyes.
Yeah.
I'm
think
excited
he's
to see him
great.
back.
Yeah, I think he did a great job.
Even if the events that took place in that movie is not canon, like who cares? It was a fun standalone, but
sure.
yeah, I thought he brought a lot to that.
I thought he did a really great job.
I had only ever seen him like probably most people in Cobra Kai. And I'm really glad, like, this showed more of his range. It was great.
This is the first thing I saw him in because I didn't watch.
Oh, you didn't watch any of that?
No, I need to.
Yeah.
And then when you think about it, the actors that James Gunn chose, first of all, Sholo, I agree with you guys. He was great. He's still young. It didn't affect. It didn't really affect the DCEU.
Yeah.
Like his story, whatever.
Right.
So he was. He's a clean transfer.
Yeah.
Really clean. You're right.
Peacemaker. Oh yeah, you killed my Rick Flag. Maybe I have some problems against that.
Hey, but in the DCU, Rick Flag's alive.
Oh yeah, but and also Amanda Waller. She was more in the back, like the lady in the chair.
Yeah,
like she didn't really. People aren't going to be like, wait, she was in the last DCU. People are just happy to see Viola Davis anywhere.
Well, hasn't she survived 2 Suicide Squads now at this point anyway?
Yeah.
So I mean, let's keep going.
So I think these are they make sense if you kind of think about it. I
Yeah.
mean, Peacemaker, John Cena, come on. Let's do it.
I'm here for it.
Yep.
That made HBO so much money.
All right, let's do another one here. We got Rob. Just wanted to say you guys made my day last year by laughing at my joke about Penn and Teller being cast as Reed and Sue. I don't remember that, but
I don't remember that
I remember
either.
that, but that's great.
bonus joke, Teller doesn't even have powers. He's just so quiet, no one notices him in the room.
Well done.
Oh.
Yes, it's actually well done.
Yeah.
I like that. Now I'm
That's
going to
solid.
re-remember that just for you. All right, listen, on that note, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear from a couple of our sponsors, the wonderful Vessi and Mint Mobile. We'll be right back.
Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Vessi. Now, like me, I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of Vessi, the shoe that claims to be incredibly comfortable and waterproof on top of that. Well, these claims are really interesting to me because as a Canadian who walked around in a lot of snow, and as somebody who likes to go camping and hiking with his wife on the weekends, there's nothing more uncomfortable and horrible than walking around in wet feet. So after receiving my first pair of Vessis and noticing how incredibly good looking the shoes are and how mind-boggling comfortable and flexible they are, the first thing I did was I took them into the backyard to put it to the supreme waterproof test and dipped my feet in my pool. Guys, my feet were bone dry, and like 20 seconds after having them in the pool and I touched them, the shoes themselves were also bone dry. Guys, seriously, these shoes are stupidly comfortable, they look great, and they absolutely lived up to the claim of being waterproof and keeping my feet dry. I absolutely love my Vessi shoes. So guys, if you want shoes that are good looking, are ridiculously comfortable, and on top of all that waterproof, you need to head to vessi.com/Campea and get yourselves a pair today. Go to vessi.com/Campea and get shoes for your best summer yet. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Mint Mobile. Signing your life away to a big wireless provider is kind of like being trapped on a roller coaster from hell. Sure, it looks like fun at first. They probably even threw in a free phone, but now you can't get off. Month after month of insane bills and unexpected thrills, like overages and surprise fees. If that sounds like your current big wireless plan, it's time to get off the ride with Mint Mobile. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are just $15 a month. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for just $15 a month. You guys know before I came to Mint Mobile, I was paying triple what I am paying now on the standard big wireless plan, and I will never go back. All plans come with unlimited talk, text, and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. To get your new unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped right to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea.
And thank you so much to Mint Mobile and Vessi for making this episode of Open Mic possible. Go check out those Campea codes, you guys. Go use them. Go.
But after the show.
But yeah, not right now. Focus. Thank you.
All right. So we got Chip Crisper.
Ooh.
I just like that name. Chip Crisper. Hey, John, did you happen to see the trailer for the new Matthew Vaughn film, Argyle? He loved it. It's I think we all did. It seems to be a mix of comedic spy version of Romancing the Stone and John Candy's, oh, man, delirious, 80s comedy delirious. I'd love to know your thoughts. Thanks, and bring on the filthy. Well, you're going to hear our thoughts.
Can I speak on this one?
Yeah.
Because yesterday
can.
we had so much work that I know we did a story on the trailer, but it wasn't until I saw the creator last night and it played before the creator, where I think the story is actually pretty interesting. Like,
Oh, it played the trailer before the creator?
Yeah.
Oh.
I actually dig this the angle of this movie. Like, I'm so down for it now. Just a girl or a lady that's writing this book, and it's everything that she's writing is becoming true, but it's also getting her in trouble with the mob
You know
or
what's
whatever
funny?
spies.
I've watched the trailer twice, and it just dawned on me. Both times I didn't have the sound on. So I've only watched the visuals of the trailer, and I want to see it. Either way, I kind of get the gist of what's going on anyway.
I've done the same.
It's a well-done trailer.
Is this off of a book? A novel?
No, I
Do
don't
we
know.
know?
I don't
Not that I
think
know.
so.
This is like a original idea, right?
I think so. Yeah.
That's really cool.
I am not familiar with that John Candy movie that's referenced.
Oh, Delirious?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
It's a good one. I'll
Yeah.
have to check that out. Love John Candy.
We've got Broadway Geeky, who writes, what was a movie you underestimated and showed to a little sibling or cousin and regretted it? Wait, a movie you underestimated. Okay, well, I'm going to keep reading. I showed my 15-year-old nieces DeVito's War of the Roses, okay, and I forgot how boring, sexual, and uncomfortable the movie was. I apologize to them to this day. Yeah, I mean, War of the Roses is definitely like more of an adult-themed.
Yeah.
It's not, and especially it's got the 80s, like, sensibilities of like materialism and everything like laced in there that a kid just isn't going to get those nuances,
No.
especially today.
No. And it's
Yeah.
not very often that you have a sentence of this is boring, sexual, and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Usually one of those is not there.
Right.
Well,
Hopefully.
my example is not with kids; it was with my neighbors. Like they're big
Oh.
horror fans. So there's this movie I kept reading about called Skinamarink.
Oh, yeah.
Have you? And then
I've
I was
heard of it.
like, maybe they'll like this. So we started watching it,
Oh no.
and I wanted to continue it, but I could just tell from their moans and what is this that it was too uncomfortable for me.
Wait,
Keep
was
going.
Skinamarink the one where it's just like a camera setup?
Yeah, camera
And it's
set.
just like once in a while you hear a weird sound, but it's more
Yeah.
just gets in your head.
Yeah.
Right.
But nothing really happens. I mean,
Right,
I
right.
don't know that
We
for
never
sure.
made it through. We never made it through. I wanted to
didn't watch
continue
it.
just because I
I remember
invested so
Taylor
much.
was like all about it, but he's like,
Yeah.
it's not for everyone.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my big showing of. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have showed that or told them to watch.
I mean, I've definitely done that with like, I mean, not on that level. I've definitely done stuff like that with like British comedies, and I love British humor. But sometimes you can show it to somebody here of a certain age group, and they're just like, I don't get it,
Yeah.
and they'll be like, I don't really understand what they're saying, but I also don't really get it, and I'm just like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. My brother and I had that with In Bruges, just because the trailers, I feel, for American
That was a sad
audiences.
movie.
It's a very sad movie. And the trailers for audiences here made it seem like this like goofy romp, a comedy of
Oh,
errors.
it definitely. The trailers
And-
were like that for sure.
Yeah, and then you see the movie and it's a great film, but whoo, not what I was anticipating.
Yeah. All right. Not Chip Crisper, but anonymous. Sorry to hear about Sir Michael Gambon. Yeah. One of his best performances when he played Lyndon Johnson in the TV movie Path to War.
Oh, I had no idea he played LBJ.
I feel like that's something Rob would be like, yes, it was excellent. I have a poster of
You know,
Path to
Jonathan,
War."
I own that performance on Blu-ray.
I wonder if Path to War is also like tied to War and Remembrance and the Winds of War.
Maybe.
It's possible. I'd have to look into that because I feel like he
That
told me about
sounds
that.
right.
This was in 2002. It was a
Never mind,
biography
it is
drama.
not part of
Oh,
that.
okay. We squashed that.
I believe he was also in Layer Cake with before what's his name became Bond,
Daniel Craig?
Daniel Craig.
Oh.
He did a movie called Layer Cake,
This was on
and it was
HBO.
about ecstasy trafficking. I think. was the
Oh,
thing, yeah.
I was like, the wine, cakes, no ecstasy. Okay.
Layer Cake, I think, had to do. It's been a long time since I saw it, but it's like the tiers of like the crime organization. So you're not just gonna get to the top of the icing or whatever.
Okay.
There's layers to it.
That makes sense. That's clever.
If
I like
I
that,
remember
if
that.
that's correct.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, he's a wonderful actor.
So yes, obviously very sad to see
Yeah.
the passing.
He was incredible.
We're losing a lot of people this year.
Yeah.
You know?
It's yeah.
It's going to be one of those Oscars with the
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
you
with the
know?
in memoriam and
Yeah.
just going on and on.
Sam Fisher writes, the new trailer for Matthew Vaughn's Argyle reminds me a lot of the movie Sam Rockwell did with Anna Kendrick and Tim Roth called Mr. Right.
Mr. Right.
I think that was when you were thinking
Yes,
about before,
that was
Ray.
the one. Mhm.
Also, the Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz, Night
Yeah,
and Day,
Night and Day.
directed by James Mangold. Although I feel like this has a little bit more surrealism to it because it's popping back and forth. What was the movie where, and guys in the chat, if you can remember this, the author, like, she doesn't want to have to kill off the character. Oh, wait. Was that
Stranger Than Fiction?
Stranger Than Fiction?
Yeah, with Will
Okay,
Ferrell
that
and-
was that. I was thinking it was a
Yeah.
different
Oh,
movie.
so there is.
So it reminds me
Yeah.
of a little bit of Stranger Than Fiction because these characters are. Although the difference is that Will Ferrell is living in her world.
Yeah, he's a real person that she
Yeah.
somehow.
I'm a real boy.
Yeah.
But a bit of an element of that where like she didn't want to have to kill his character off, and it didn't. You know what I mean? So it just kind of reminded me a little bit of Stranger Than Fiction. But yeah, Ray, you were talking about that with Mr. Right.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, someone asked about it, and I couldn't figure out, but I watched it. I thought that movie was pretty decent.
John's shot.
What do you think, John?
Yeah, nothing. Okay.
I'm not talking about Ahsoka.
That was
Go back to the chat. I'm not talking about Ahsoka.
Well, okay then.
What's next? That was not even a try at an impression of him. I just did the deepest voice I can. I just don't know. Whatever.
Just hope we all have
Friday.
a job on Monday.
It's Friday, but
Sam Fisher writes, also speaking of Henry Cavill, playing a spy, I don't know if you talked about it, but RIP to David McCallum, who played Ilya Kuryakin in the original Man from U.N.C.L.E. TV series. We did because he was also in NCIS for a time. Yeah. We did. It wasn't like a top, like it wasn't one of our topics, but somebody else had brought it up in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah. But that was definitely one of like his younger roles because that was from 60s or 70s.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think Jack Lemmon was in that too, if I
Oh,
recall.
Damn.
So yeah. All right. Next up, Campea Love Doctor, help me. You will get no help. Hey, Campea crew. Sadly, for the past year since my breakup, I'm feeling kind of lonely.
Aw.
Well, there's a great show for you. It's called, what is it called? It's
Naked
on-
Attraction.
Naked Attraction.
All my friends and ex are in healthy relationships, which puts pressure on me and enables me to feel happiness. Your show plus movies definitely helps. Any tips on how to keep going? Number 1, do not compare yourself to other people and other
Yes.
relationships. You don't know what they're going through either.
Yeah.
And that's not to like boohoo on their relationships. I'm sure it's great. But I always just kind of tell people you have to make yourself happy before anyone else can make you happy.
Absolutely.
And going into a relationship to find happiness, it could be a bad situation.
Exactly. It's
Because
not
it
fair
also
to
then
you or
puts a
your
lot of
partner.
pressure on your partner.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is not to belittle any of what you're going through. What you're going through is natural. and we've all been there. But yeah, I would say, start finding the joy in yourself. Find why you feel you're a great person. You bring a lot to your life and the lives of people around you. The relationships will find you.
Exactly.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
And don't worry about anyone else and where they are advanced in their lives or not advanced. Just focus on you and you'll do great, man.
Yeah. Like my biggest regret was for a long time after like I consider my first real heartbreak or love, whatever. I sat there and was just dwelling on that. And I would do anything to take that time back, because that time of sorrow, like everyone's going to feel heartbreak, and it's good because that's what life's about, to get those feelings. But then if you never want to feel that again, learn from why, sometimes you just the relationship has just run its course.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just way too young and people don't want to commit so much. Now these days in the Philippines, I know the first person you got with, from what my parents used to tell me, the first person you kissed was pretty much your wife or husband. That's the way it works. But here it's different. People like to try different sauces, and sometimes you might even find yourself back with that person later on. You just have to just experience everything. Don't let someone sour the rest of your life, is what I'm saying, because there's always someone better. And don't feel pressure to find somebody, because you know what? All the people I dated afterwards, they were just there. Whenever I constantly looked and put that pressure on myself, because a lot of you guys don't. I think I told you guys, I'm like the last boy in the family.
Yeah.
Like there was pressure when I was younger to actually have a kid and a boy, just because the name stops right here, and it still will. But I put pressure on myself for that. But all those times where I would think about that, it's just like it just wasn't a good time. You know what I mean? So just wait for things to happen. You have to love yourself before you love someone else.
You really
right?
do.
So-
If you aren't investing time in yourself and in your interests and filling up your cup first, you can't pour from an empty cup. You just can't. And so you have to make sure that you're taking care of you. And I know it's so cliche, when you're not looking is when it happens. When you're happy and you're like, this is my life and this is what's working for me and I really enjoy how this is going, is when it happens.
And what's the best way than to find someone who looks at the way you're living and accepts it, rather than you putting on a front and them finding out later? Because I used to do that all the time. Things, you comb your hair, whatever, you lose some weight, and then you're out there, and then if that's not you, it's going to come back. Yeah. So just present yourself as the way that you feel most comfortable and you're most happy with.
And no shade to your friends. I'm sure they are in healthy relationships, but we cannot judge things based on social or what other people tell us. People are in their relationships and we don't know how those happen and what goes on behind closed doors. And a lot of times those couples that are constantly posting how freaking happy and picturesque their life is online aren't.
Yeah, there was some money involved in that then.
Yeah. Hashtag ad.
Hashtag, what's your job? No. I think that was the most input we've had.
Yeah.
Was a non-movie related question.
Ask us more about your love life, you guys. Let's do it.
Okay.
I love those questions.
Yeah.
All right.
But
so
anyway,
guys-
hey, man, before we move on, take care.
Hang in there.
And if you're the person in there who said, how can I love myself when I hate myself? Find out the reasons why you're unhappy with yourself. It could be that the reasons you're unhappy with yourself aren't even your fault.
Yeah.
It could be from past trauma experiences. Get help and talk about it.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
Therapy's so awesome. Oh my gosh. People who go to therapy, so hot. Do it.
When you're alone is when you're just go out with some friends. They always make you feel good. You know what I mean? They'll make you, if they're real friends, they'll make you feel
Yeah.
All right, so up next now we got Anonymous. You can report misogyny and protected characteristics if viewed online, YouTube, etc. And Ofcom in UK has to investigate. It's probably due to recent high-profile cases. Google UK's new online safety bill is an interesting read. I think it's a good step forward. That's cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
They're putting a little crackdown on online bullying, I think, or at least on YouTube.
That's great.
Hopefully they find the way to actually make that work where it's a safer environment for everyone.
I hope so. Because
Because there's some youngsters on here that may not have the brain capacity yet to handle the
all the bullying,
the bullying,
The
the
thick
comments,
skin.
whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, because usually, most of the time, people who bully hurt people, that kind of thing. And they're dealing with their own nonsense, and that's why they lash out at other people, and they don't have something better to do because they can't deal with their own issues. But you know, if you're getting that guff online, guys, don't believe it. It's half the time it's from somebody who won't even put their own photo up as their avatar.
They're insecure and afraid, and they go after soft targets.
Yeah, exactly.
So Callum says, "Hey y'all, I've been watching Curb Your Enthusiasm. That was a good choice for the first time, and I'm considering putting it up there on my top 5.
Ooh,
It's definitely in my top 5 shows, like comedy shows. Larry David is a comedy genius. Are you guys fans of the show? If so, do you have any favorite episode, moment? Thanks, Bring on the Filthy.
this is very much a you question because I am not as familiar with.
I mean, I've seen the whole series, probably a few times through. For the earlier seasons, my favorite episode is the doll. Just even like saying that and thinking about that I love that episode. But it just, you're right. It has a feeling like how I was with Entourage. You feel like you're just hanging out with like a bunch of people. It's not really that interesting, Entourage, but you just kind of feel like you're
You're
getting
part
to
of
like
that.
live that whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that like the Curb is the same idea with like the celebrity and all that, but you just feel like you're hanging out with like these goofy friends because it's all ad-libbed, you know, and they block it out, but they don't write a script. And the comedy is just gold. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's pretty.
That's where I heard about the story.
Pretty good.
That was a crazy story, right? Like one of the episodes, the Curb Your Enthusiasm.
They were shooting a thing at Dodger Stadium. Yeah, there's a documentary on Netflix.
That was crazy.
This guy was accused of murder, and he was going to go down for it. And they were shooting an episode, and that's a great episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm too, where he picks up a prostitute on the way because he wants to ride in the carpool lane to Dodger Stadium. And so they're shooting him at Dodger Stadium, and the guy that was accused of murder was actually in the shot.
The row.
And so they could prove that he was not there at the time because he was at Dodger Stadium in this shot.
It's such a crazy story. That's why.
Amazing.
That's why I searched right here, Larry David Dodgers, because I remember watching something where it had to do with
Netflix.
that show.
Damn. Okay, I have to watch that.
Yeah,
It's such a.
that's amazing.
It's like true crime and Larry David. It's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just getting
all of
to the point. Yeah, just getting to the point of finding the camera, because at first I think they looked at the Dodger Stadium cameras.
Yeah.
But they couldn't get a face.
That was another thing. There was so much.
It was the
drama to
HBO
that
camera.
they get to it, and it's like his face is
it's
like
almost
turned
like the Flash.
or something like
It's
that.
almost like the Flash.
This was his tomato soup.
So they brought it to
Canned
court,
tomatoes.
and they're like, "I'm sorry, man. There was like a flash or something hid your face in that moment." And then it was like, you're really done. And then it's like, nope, because Larry David was there.
Yeah, came to save the day.
They could have filmed in any section.
Well done, Larry David. Helping a man not be accused wrongfully of murder. Woo!
Woo!
Callum is next. Hey, y'all. Oh, no. We've already read you, Callum. Crazy Duck Duck is next. Buenas tardes. I'll be watching the Star Wars movies for the first time. Hope I like them. Which ones are you starting with? I can't. It depends on which ones you're starting with to answer that.
Yeah. Well, you know, that being said, there are people who watch the prequels
Yeah, that's
first,
true.
Yep.
and they were like, I love
was
these
me.
movies.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah, you know what? I take that back. You'll love them. Hopefully.
Just
I hope
enjoy.
so.
Just enjoy.
Oh my
just
gosh.
take
What
it.
if they hate Empire? What if they're like, this movie's dog
They're
shit?
like, episode 1 was dope.
It was so
Freaking Trade Federation?
Oh my
Are you kidding me?
God.
It's
Darth
freaking
Maul?
awesome.
great.
And then you get to Empire Strikes Back and it's just like a bunch of boring snow.
They're just like in a city in the
God.
clouds. Get
The
outta here.
effects are so stupid.
Yeah, it's like, it's not even a real like ice monster and stuff, and it's like dumb.
How did they get to smooth ships, then back to blocky ships?
So dumb. I hope that's how it goes.
I really like that little kid. He really had things going for him.
Yeah.
Hope it turns out well for him.
Wow, you just spoiled everything.
Yeah, sorry. Anonymous, you're getting around here, Anonymous.
I know, Anonymous. Stop being so anonymous.
Yeah. Something tells me you were in like a trench coat when you were writing this. I think Max is getting ready for you guys to have your own naked attraction.
Oh my gosh.
When you mean your own, or you mean like in America? Because I'm not going
America.
on it. Okay.
I
Ha-ha.
would never go on this show.
Germany has the show too. The joke has always been contestants have to go to work next day. Why does Chris
God,
know
man.
so much about Channel 4? Because she was there. How many times has Chris visited the UK? Well, I'm going to tell you right here. I got an inside scoop.
Yeah.
Yeah. But actually, I'm going to let her tell you.
The
Oh,
reason
thanks.
why she was over there.
I've gone over to the UK 3 times. I know so much about Channel 4 mostly because my husband is an Anglophile and we watch a ton of British television programming. And that's mostly it. We have BritBox, we have BBC, we have all those. And we watch so much stuff on YouTube too. Because we send a lot of those clips for dialect students to study because it's actual British people speaking in a conversational tone as opposed to look at this American actor trying to be English sometimes.
Now, we're not counting like London Heathrow, right?
No, just traveling through.
Yeah, right?
No.
So twice for you is official then. Like you didn't just travel through.
Oh, no.
I
I've
know you
been
were there
been.
for sure. What,
Yeah.
like this last time?
I've been to the UK 3 times.
Which seasons of Naked Attraction were those that you been?
I only saw the one moment of Naked Attraction with my mom.
Yeah, so you had to like click on.
where she was screaming, "What's the game?" It was great.
They'll be like, "Oh, that guy's right foot had surgery."
She was just so
he's off.
confused why a man's penis was on our television.
No, because you know how they start from the bottom.
Yeah, we
I'll be
did.
Oh,
eliminated right from the beginning.
yeah. You
We
got
didn't
the
even
butt.
get the gradual reveal. It was just like full frontal
Oh.
and sweet baby Marie Carr, who Ray Ora has sworn in front of.
Oh, yes.
Cruel.
Yeah.
Cruel.
I forgot
Poor-
about that.
She has to
Marie.
learn. She has to learn about the hard
was a
life.
real-
I'm like, Ray, her mom's in
It was a real great FaceTime
on
where
Zoom with
Ray
her.
was just like, "What's up, motherfucker?" And my mom was like,
I didn't know she was talking to her mom, so I was like,
She's from Dorchester. She doesn't actually give a shit. She says
Oh,
fuck so much.
I just like that your mom will forever know that was my first words. to
Yeah,
her.
it was
What's
really
up,
sweet.
MFer?
Yeah. She really likes you guys, though. She thought it was really sweet when you FaceTimed me when I was in Florida.
Oh,
Yeah, where she's like, "That's so nice that your coworkers actually like you." I was
yeah,
like,
that's only a one-time thing.
maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe they do. Maybe they're bored.
Well, both can be true.
both are
we were
true.
bored and we missed you.
Aw,
And
yay.
you were sick, right? Didn't you get sick? on
No,
that
her
trip?
dad was sick.
Oh
My-
no, your dad with the arm.
Oh,
There's
that's
so
right.
many.
He had
My dad broke his arm when we did the London trip because he like planned to go race at the
Racing,
Lotus
right.
racing school, and then he couldn't do it, and I felt so bad for him.
Oh.
So instead, he saw like weird English plays with me, and I was like, "Isn't this great?" And he's like, "It's fine."
Oh. Well. Okay.
So now we got some supers here, guys. If you have any questions, send them on in.
Yeah.
Kyle Schneider writes, Saw X was awesome. More character driven than any of the other films. The traps are great. The victims are pure evil. Best Saw film I saw. Okay, hang on. So I've never actually seen a Saw film. So is the premise then that the people he picks are awful people?
I have no idea.
It's typically they've done something bad.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because I used to think like, man, why do people want to see these like fine, just normal people? getting
Yeah, I know.
tortured?
That's what I thought too.
It's kind of like in Seven, right? How
Right.
there's the like, well, I picked this person because of this, and so they are people who are like adulterers or money laundering or doing stuff like that. I say this based on the first Saw, because y'all know I'm not seeing any more of them.
Yeah.
This is not for me. I love that you loved it though. That's great. And
It's great that it's good that it's your favorite one,
Yeah.
especially if you've seen all of them.
it's nice when a franchise gets like reinvigorated.
Yeah, it's always
good.
weird. The 10th movie and it's your favorite one.
Hell yeah.
Took him that long to get there.
I've done it. It was like me with my Netflix movie queue. Finally, like 800,
800 was the one.
800 I've done.
Yeah, I like the premise of this newest one. Like just knowing the fact of what happened to that guy, and I was like, yeah, go do what you need. I'm not gonna be there to watch it, but go do what you need to do.
All right, so Reed Foreman writes, absolutely love Saw X. It's got an 86 on Rotten Tomatoes, which is great. For
It's
like,
the
Great.
highest
for that.
critical score for any Saw film at this time.
I'm thinking Academy Award.
Ooh.
Even
Not
better.
really. Dr. Stinky gives us some support. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Dr. Stinky.
Dr. Dinky. Casinema writes, okay, this is going to be a joke. What do you call facial hair that is made of pasta?
Wait.
So you guys can't see it.
Okay.
So Facial hair made of pasta.
Facial hair made of pasta.
I already saw the punchline.
You can see it, but you can't. It's
and that's her
spaghetti.
fake?
Worth it for that face.
Kind of seems it looks like a Muppet now.
Aww.
I'm gonna move on. Caleb Jacobs says Saw X in hand is hands down the best of the franchise. I've heard that.
A couple of y'all really like this.
heard that.
That's great.
You know, my neighbor's going to put it on when it gets to streaming, so I'll probably be watching it just
There you
way
go.
later than you guys.
We got Andy. The creator had a 69% on Rotten Tomatoes with an average rating of 6.9 out of 10 based on 169 reviews yesterday. I see this as an absolute triumph. Go 69.
Somewhere Taylor Gonzalez is going, who's calling me? Oh,
So many people were like, what?
I miss you, Tay-Tay. I miss you.
But Robert writes, love the Batman Beyond crew. We love you.
Yeah.
I don't care what John says a Batman Beyond movie will do financially if done right. And not $1 billion or anything, but still be profitable. Also,
$1 billion Batman
cats are
Beyond.
amazing.
Also, cats are amazing.
And also, dude, they did the creator
I thought you were
for
gonna
how
say
much?
Ahsoka.
80? No, they did the creator for 80 million or whatever he said they did it for. You can totally make a Batman Beyond movie with that.
And
that
when
kind
you
of-
don't have family to pay for, it's not that expensive to make good
Exactly.
movies. With that
Oh, that was a fact. Oh,
said,
okay.
yeah, baby.
Oh
You know
boy.
what I'm saying?
Oh boy.
All right, you see me shining. All right, Spidey. Huh? What?
You see
I'm
me
sorry,
shining.
Tyrese.
Yeah. You know.
I'm sorry, baby boss.
Spidey 83, Curtis Spriggs. In prep for Spider-Man 2 dropping on 10/20, I finally got around to finishing my copy of Miles Morales and realized I was listening to Chris. Oh, did you do voiceover for that? Wait, finally got around to
I
finishing
very
my
much
Miles.
did not.
No, yeah. You
Oh,
were not
well.
listening to Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, did they use your did they
Oh,
use
no,
AI?
did they use
generated
you?
I
Chris?
was going to say,
So wait.
This is Chris 2.0.
who do you think I am in this game so I
Chris
can go
2.0.
listen? Um,
Because you
Also-
need to be suing some people.
Also, this guy
there can only
was-
be one. Highlander rules.
Yeah,
This guy was named Curtis Spriggs. Curtis Spriggs.
there can be only one.
Is his name Curtis Spriggs, the one who wrote this?
Yes.
Okay, well, I just gotta say, you should be a wrestler. Because that is
That's
a
a good name.
professional
Curtis
wrestler's name.
Spriggs, yep.
Curtis Spriggs!
Yeah. I like it. Yeah, you're right.
That's good.
All right. Caleb Jacobs writes, Married with Children is the best 90s sitcom.
I watched it a lot.
I'll say that. It's
I'll say
definitely
that.
up there for
It's up there for me. I don't know if I'd say
most of
it's
the
my best. My
most
favorite.
of the, I was never actually allowed to watch it. Like I can have it on, like if it was on, is on. But my parents were like, "I wish you wouldn't watch that." That kind of thing.
Because, yeah, I get it.
because also my age at the time
Yeah,
too. But
and then, like, the lady smoking in the house, and then her
and
boobs are all
at the
showing.
time it was like very
Raunchy.
raunchy compared to today. We'd be like, "What's wrong
Well,
with this?"
yeah. What they would insinuate in the jokes was raunchy. Like
Yeah,
Kelly
yeah.
Bundy coming out of the bathroom with, like, her boyfriend and her pulling her strap up or something. They were insinuating that they just went to Pound Town.
Yeah, baby.
With Rob. Well, you know, that's where Rob is from, right?
Pound Town.
He's
Pound
from
Town.
Pound Town, USA.
He's a Pound Towndian.
Yeah.
He's actually become the king of
Oh.
Pound Town.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh man, he's got a
this-
letter
It's
jacket.
got a little awkward.
If none of you know this, I gave Rob that title for some reason. I look at Rob and I'm like, and then I see his pictures when he was younger and I'm like, man, you took a lot of girls to Pound Town, didn't you? And ever since I said that, he's become the king of Pound Town. I just make up all these stories in my head that he has been dipping in all the sauces that McDonald's could provide, right? Why is everyone quiet? Am I digging myself into a hole? Did I say something?
I'm
Am I
just-
getting
I-
I'm
canceled?
just over here trying to eat my own face. It's,
Next time I see Rob, on Friday when I see Rob, I'm
Yeah,
just gonna
say,
be like,
no, you have to bow and go, King, sir, sir.
"Sir, King, my liege."
first of his name,
Okay.
I hope breaker of chains.
and then Pound Towndians.
Pound Town Dean.
Breaker of chains. He's like, I kind of like chains, actually. So,
You know, if everyone's a consenting adult, then I love you, Rob. I
Let's
love
move
you so
on.
much.
Harv's K writes, speaking of naked attraction, sounds like a neat sociology experiment. It is. Yeah, that's why we watch it. Sociology
Happens
experiment.
all the time.
Yeah, we're writing a thesis on it. Would seeing each other naked before a first date make things even more awkward, or would it actually be an icebreaker? Or maybe it would be a wall.
Or maybe I
That's
would
the
never
point.
get a first date. I think
I'm about that single life.
Yeah, I think that there's a part of that show where it's kind of like, what are you trying to tell?
I mean, it's pretty
say
silly.
about- yeah. It's kind of like, okay.
One, it's very superficial.
Yeah.
Let's just call it what it is. It's pure
It's very
superficiality.
And what if you do choose on that superficiality?
You're only choosing
what does
on
that
like,
make you?
yeah, what if that
You know
guy's
what
a
I mean? It's just
narcissist and
such
then
a-
your
Yeah.
life is ruined?
It's such a thing without having a thing.
There's also, I mean, there's a Aziz Ansari joke about this
Yeah.
too, of just like, very rarely have I ever been like, wow, what a magnificent, unique, and beautiful being. This is what I'm going to base my entire relationship around.
You know, in Pound Town,
In Pound Town, the way you start a date.
it's culturally acceptable to. Anyway,
What is a hand job if
You know
not a
what the state
handshake?
bird is?
You know, that's how you get to know people. Oh, God.
all right. So look, we got Ron H here next, who says,
Oh, Ron H. What's up, Ron H?
"Oh, you know,
No. It's just because I used to know when I would moderate the chat, which I'll probably go back to doing soon.
wait, what's Ron H saying in the chat, real
Yeah,
quick?
Ron H is
He's
the
in
Because someone just said
the
Ron
man.
H, ha ha ha.
Ron Mate.
Oh, well, then Ron H said ha ha ha.
Oh.
So now I have no idea what the ha ha ha's are about. Oh, okay.
no.
It's a chain of ha ha ha's. Ron H says, always a nice start to the weekend when you get some BBC.
Woot woot.
It's a change for some. Excuse me.
There's some people who know.
Excuse me. It's a change for some. You kind of wonder if it'll fit. Do I
The
keep
British
reading? I'm getting a little scared here.
Go.
What you come
Why you keep cutting
to
off? this-
expect, but generally BBC really delivers the goods. Okay, good.
know,
I was thinking.
you
this
know.
was-
It's exactly what you were thinking, and it still applies.
You know how like Alice in Wonderland, she falls down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
As I was reading, I'm like, I'm about to fall into like Pound Town or
Yeah.
something like that.
I'm absolutely
What's
talking about
happening?
Dick. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
But except for anyone who just happened to slip in this live.
So you know what? I want to do that
and they're
question.
like, there's no BBC.
I want to do that question
do it one more
justice
time?
because I was
Okay.
apprehensive. I didn't know what I was
All
getting
right.
into here. Okay, Ron H writes, always a nice start to the weekend when you get some BBC. It's a change for some. You kind of wonder if it'll fit with what I still can't do it. With what you've come to expect, but generally BBC really delivers the goods. Thank you, man.
No, one more time, but slower and sultry.
Okay.
Oh, no.
All right.
We've all got it.
Ron H.
We all got the.
Always a nice start to the weekend when you get some BBC.
Get that.
It's a change for some. You kind of wonder if it'll fit
Does it fit?
with what you've come to expect.
Yeah, we coming.
But generally, BBC really delivers the goods.
Now it's JFK.
Always a nice start to the weekend when you get some BBC. It's a change for some. You kind of wonder if it'll fit. But I'm here to tell you today, with what you've come to expect, but generally, BBC really delivers the goods.
You need to read everything like that from now on. You're so confident as JFK. What a speech, man. I think that won him the
That
election.
was beautiful.
We have nothing to fear but BBC itself.
My God.
Dear
Okay.
God.
Connor Dorian writes, it looks like that A24 might be the one to buy the rights to Halloween franchise for future movies and TV projects. Okay. At first, we kind of like pan this, like, well, I'm kind of like, it's good for Miramax to be selling this franchise because
Yeah.
it's dead. But if you're selling to A24, that gives me more hope in it.
Oh, yeah.
I say this as somebody who isn't a horror person. They have been knocking it out of the park with their horror
But then,
films.
do they reboot or do they just
They
take on from this last?
reboot, definitely.
Yeah.
Get this thing on the ground again.
Clean
It's
slate.
It was
becoming-
on the ground with that first one that they rebooted too.
It's becoming so supernatural
I
now.
think there's-
Like, I want a
Yeah.
real.
I think there's actually 3 good ones. I
Yeah.
like the original Halloween 2 from the 70s or like.
Oh, yeah,
early-
the original one's fun.
But with this latest batch of reboots, they said that doesn't exist, only Halloween 1, because this became Halloween 2. And I think this should have been Halloween 3. I think the hospital stuff should have remained. But
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, but it didn't make sense because he got burnt to death. So okay, I get that.
Fair.
Burn to death.
But you had the original Halloween. You had the next this not the Rob Zombie one, but this latest batch of reboots. I like the
Yeah.
first one. Is it too many like trip and falls? Like they're gonna have to wait some time to do. I get. You know what? It's horror. They really don't have to wait. Who am I
No,
kidding?
they can just jump back
If
in.
it's good, they'll be like, cool. It's rebooted again. We love
Yeah.
it. So never mind.
Good studio to go to, I think.
Exactly. Really good studio.
All right. What am I doing here?
Little Simba.
Lil Simba too. Lil Simba. Favorite superhero? Do you want a new movie of them? Well, I mean, my favorite superheroes they already have movies.
Same.
For.
Spider-Man's my favorite superhero.
Yeah. How about you?
Sentry, I would love to see a
Okay.
Sentry movie.
Yeah.
But
Sentry?
one that's really comic, not accurate, but more
Yeah.
closer to the comics. I would love to see that. And of course, Blade.
Yeah, Blade.
Yeah, I hope someone picks that up because Marvel isn't doing it. I don't
Hope we
think.
get that movie at some point in our lifetime.
People are gonna get sick of me talking about Blade. If you guys don't know, I love Blade so much.
Can you imagine Blade finally comes out, you fall asleep in the movie?
When I figured out, oh wow, he's half vampire, half human. Like that concept to me was so crazy when I was younger that it was so cool, and it's never left me for some reason. I don't know. Whatever.
A lot of people don't realize that was even a comic book movie when it came out. They just thought it was a vampire movie.
Yeah.
So Devin Lita writes, I noticed the score soundtrack for Saw X, no rock soundtrack. So I don't know because I've never seen any X. Is there? I mean, any X. I've never seen any Saws. Is there usually like a metal soundtrack or something to it?
I can't
have
think
no
of the soundtrack from the first and only one I saw.
Yeah. After that fan
Sorry,
blade
guys.
went off, you kind of blacked out.
I just screamed and cried for 6 hours.
So Isaac Cushman writes with a $20 super chat.
Woo!
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Chris, I've been hearing stories about how stars of Nickelodeon shows I watched as kids have gotten nothing in residuals. I wonder if that's because I'll keep reading, but I have a theory. Do you think new streaming terms could result in some residuals coming their way for future streams? If you have, go ahead and answer. But I'm
So one of the main reasons here is streaming up until now. Well, we now have a deal with the writers, but for the actors, streaming has not been taken into account in a fair way, right? Where, hey, it's streamed so many times, but you get like $2 or something like that. A lot of these shows also just no longer exist streaming anywhere. Sure, on a few things like Disney Plus or, Paramount, I think has some Nickelodeon things. HBO had a huge gutting of all of these Cartoon Network properties that unless you have DVDs of that, you are never going to see those shows ever again unless somebody else buys those rights. So a lot of it is just they essentially no longer exist. So how do you do residuals for something that doesn't exist? As far as streaming goes too, it's the same kind of situation as the TV and film on camera actors. We need to have that transparency of how many people are actually watching this. And for a lot of these shows that are from, your childhood, under at least those WGA guidelines, I don't know how much they would get in terms of streaming once it's added onto something. That's something else that we got to look at. What was your theory?
well, so I wasn't sure. It depends on how old Devin is, because if he's thinking back to like the early '80s, like you can't do that on television and stuff. Those were Canadian productions, so it's probably not part of the AMPTP, and so they probably didn't have deals for residuals back then.
Probably.
It just depends on what era we're talking about. That was my theory.
Yeah.
All right. Shamrock Vibes writes, Chris, what's the most difficult accent you have tried?
Ooh, I'm still not great at Cockney. That's not what I'm really super good at.
Oh, it's easy. You just go, hello, governor.
Just say a bunch of Guy Ritchie things. I always end up Australian though, because Australians want to flirt
No,
and Cockneys want to fight.
Oh, no.
That's actually really good.
Yeah.
No.
My God, JFK
Oh, no.
and Cockney. You're just a JF.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
I only get as far as, oh, no. In
Go, go,
Australian.
do it.
That's all you need. And then the phrase, we're not here to fuck spiders.
Oh, no.
We're not here to fuck spiders.
New career.
But yeah,
Cockney
I'm
voice.
pretty bad at the Cockney one.
Oh, no.
That was really bad. I don't know. That was southern. It's like, oh, no, y'all.
Yeah.
Every time Ray tries to do southern,
It's the same thing.
British, he becomes southern.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're close.
We all the same.
We all
Yeah.
the
At the end
same.
of the day.
At the end of the day, we all the same.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking, though.
Yeah.
All right. Spidey83 is back. At Chris, the voiceover I was referring to was a character named Danica Hart. Or Danica Hart. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was a podcaster that would pop up for sound bites as you played.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
I can also see that. I do sound like her. She sounds like me.
Oh yeah.
And
Now
she's
you,
very
have
she's
to fight.
very agitating. So that also might be why some of you are like, that's probably Chris Carr, this grating voice.
There's a I don't know why, but there's this Arco commercial where they have like little bobbleheads.
Yeah, the
And
hula girl.
And I always think like I swear that could be Chris doing the hula like bobblehead character.
For a while, I think it was Judy Greer, and then I think
Yeah.
they replaced her voice. Man, I would love to be a Judy Greer sound-alike.
Well, you know
Call
what?
me.
You did do HTC.
I
I
did.
will always be forever proud of that. I just found that out like last week. If anybody knows, I was a big fan, still am, if they ever come back, of HTC phones. They were the best. And then I found out last week while going through her channel that she did an HTC voiceover.
Ray
And it
was
like
so
a-
cute
yeah,
and
it
was going through all of my old commercials and all of my
I
video
went-
game characters. And it was really sweet because you would just be like, man, Chris, this is really good. This is really nice.
How is it that you actually
Hey,
have
just
the
a shot.
person that you actually have the person who actually did all this great work next to you watching you go in a rabbit hole, down a rabbit hole, watching all her work? I was like, you did HTC? Oh, you did this commercial? I was like, you sound great here. You sound...
It was really nice.
What happened?
It was a
Do
really
you know?
it was a really nice boost to my ego.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't booked in a minute.
Oh,
I booked
no.
today. I booked
Yeah.
today, which is very exciting.
So we gotta go.
But yeah, it was nice to
Yeah.
All right.
you do that.
So, yeah, this is next. Sky the Sky the Magnanimous writes, give MCU X-Men reboot to Noah Baumbach, Catherine Bigelow, Damon Lindelof, or Gina Prince Bythewood. Release it in IMAX on Thanksgiving 2027. I don't know.
That's so
Those
specific.
are all
So-
really good names.
Yeah.
So you're saying like so these are possible directors for. Okay, so between Noah Baumbach, Catherine Bigelow, Damon Lindelof, or Gina Prince Bythewood, where would you guys lean?
I'll go with...
Ooh.
Uh,
I mean, Noah Baumbach is a fun pick. Catherine Bigelow is a wild pick though too to go.
yeah, that is...
I think that
Hurt
I was
Locker?
thinking like that could be fun.
That could be really cool.
Yeah, with Catherine Bigelow.
Yeah. I like that.
All right, there's our pick.
Sure. Yeah, release it in IMAX in 2027.
It's official.
Let's
we
go.
just greenlit
No.
it.
Yeah.
All right, Ethan Company Entertainment writes, what if Superman Legacy only sells 2 tickets in its entire box office run? That would be silly.
That's so silly. It's-
Ethan, come on.
So
No,
what?
but it's
only
true.
only the 2 leads go see this movie?
Yeah.
What? No.
I questioned that too. Like, and I know he's being very, very sarcastic there.
Yeah.
But what happens? The sixth question to the 5 that was what happens if the first couple movies that we're thinking Superman Legacy, no matter how good it is, it's gonna flop. But eventually, it's good. The movies are gonna have to start making money, right?
Yeah.
When will James know it's time to quit? Like,
When
what
will
movie is
he
that?
know if
Maybe
his
DC is just
series
not a
gonna
property.
do good? When
You
will
know?
he know?
Yeah, I just don't know. It's those. I want DC to do good. There's a lot of obscure characters
all movies
that
to
I
do
still
good.
want to see
Yeah.
on screen that get should get like their own movie. But when do you know it's time just to not quit? I don't know. Let's hope the best for them though.
All right, well, I think we've come to our last, unless someone else sends anything in. But King Daddy Goat writes, been watching Gen V, shoo, boundaries stretched. Well, that's
Ooh.
the world of Dem Boys.
Them boys.
The back boundary or the front boundary? What boundary are we talking about?
I mean,
stretching.
it's kind of inside and out, so...
What boundaries are you talking about, Ray?
Well, because all I know is I've never watched The Boys, but all I keep hearing is about that episode you guys reacted to. And there was a boundary
The
that
sneeze,
was
her around
Inside the
world.
penis?
inside the penile.
Yeah. Sneeze aisle and the penile.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
You're welcome.
thank you.
Let's make merch. Who wants to buy that shirt?
shirt?
When there's a sneeze
So, yeah, I
in
mean,
the
King Daddy
peen.
Goat, listen, it's the boys, like, universe. They're going to stretch boundaries
It's going to be foul and violent.
And loose.
and stretch
Stretch.
other
Yeah.
things.
Stretchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be some flags.
And then I guess on that note, guys,
What a way to end.
that was the last of our
Our questions?
Yeah.
Thank you for letting us explore boundaries here today as well with these questions and everything. We really appreciate it. And thank you for getting us out of here in a timely fashion, because I don't know about you guys. It took me 3 hours to get home last Friday.
Ouch.
Oh, yeah. Got
So we appreciate you being here with us, but we also appreciate you letting us go. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Big thanks to Ray Ora.
See you in Pound Town, baby.
Whoa, big thanks to Jonathan Boyko.
Okay, well, I'll see you guys later.
My name is Chris Carr. Have a wonderful weekend. Be kind. We'll see you on Monday. Bye.